Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ask the Expert. Have you ever had a situation where you dreamed and you just said, this is where I want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? But when you were sitting down trying to map out how you would actually get there, perhaps you had some challenges, perhaps you hit some roadblocks. Well, today I am so excited because our guest, Danielle, the owner of Dexte Denim, she is someone who dreamed big dreams, and she created amazing businesses out of those dreams and didn't even have a blueprint for it. So I'm so excited to sit here and talk with Danielle, the owner of Dexte Denim. Danielle, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you here
too.
today. Oh my goodness. So do you mind sharing with us some information about Dexte Denim? I know you really do a number of things. You customize banners, you customize backdrops, floor vinyl, floor runners, party packages, event design. So within that, do you mind describing just a little bit about Dexte Denim?
Yes. So Dexte Denim, my name is Danielle. Dexte Denim is actually the name of my two children. I have two sons. One is 10, one is 6, and their names are Dex and Denim. So I honestly named my company after my two sons because my first son, Denim, he was the push that I needed to actually become an entrepreneur and take it seriously. But my second son, Dex, he was the having two kids, he was the absolute reason why I was like, this has to work. Like, I absolutely have to make this a thing. So Dexte Denim started as a graphic design company where I specialize in event graphics for parties such as floor wraps and backdrops and little custom items such as custom chip bags to water bottles, Gatorade, stuff like that. And then it kind of just grew on its own. So as I learned more and I taught myself more, I started teaching classes to other creatives who wanted to learn. I then started pivoting and learning how to do animation, and then it grew into that. And now today, present day, Dexte Denim is just my umbrella of creativity now. So all of my other businesses are running under Dexte Denim LLC now, and Dexte Denim is going to transform into just the umbrella brand, the major corporation that has all of the other ones.
I love that. You know, I always feel as though whenever I'm talking to someone, you gain a true appreciation for their story when you understand their testimony and where and how they got to where they are today. Can you elaborate just a little bit more about your son? So how old were you when you had your sons and you said to yourself, okay, we've got to figure out a plan?
Okay, so when I had my first son, I was 22 years old. His name is Denim. He was my first son. I was 22. I'm a single mom. I was like, we have to figure something out. I actually was working for Kodak at the time when I got pregnant, and I was in fashion school. I went to LIM college. Amazing experience. I didn't graduate, but let me tell you, I literally learned so much from that school, and I owe everything today to LIM college because of the way that the college is kind of set up. It's not a traditional school. Like, LIM has a bunch of like adjunct professors that are all in the fashion industry, and that's where you're learning from. So they always gave us internships and opportunities. Like my professor that I was really close with, he was the visual merchandiser for Macy's. So during like Christmas and Thanksgiving, he was the lead visual person. He would come to our classes and say, listen, you're my students, you guys are going to come intern with us. So we got hands-on experience with different props and products and stuff like that. So when I was in college, I got pregnant. I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I don't know, maybe at that time I just felt like I couldn't be a fashion student in New York pregnant. So I actually quit, and then I was working for Kodak too. I quit my job at Kodak because I was pregnant. It was a lot. And then I was like, you know what? We got to figure something out. I got to figure something out. I literally started going on Craigslist. You remember Craigslist?
Yes, I do.
Such a different world. I started going on Craigslist and I started entering ads for people who used to write on Craigslist, like, I need a logo done, I need an invitation done. So I'm like, I can do that, right? I know I took graphic design classes in college. So I started answering the ads and I started doing like random logos and invitations and flyers for like $25. And then after I did maybe like 3 in a day, I'm like, this kind of makes sense. If I just do a few a week, I might be on to something. So then I started doing that. And that's how I started kind of just making money. So then I had Denim, and I'm like, all right, I can't go back to work, so we got to make this work. And I just started pacing myself on Craigslist. Craigslist literally was the hub for me to survive. Okay, so I started taking like 10 jobs a week, then 20, and I'm like, okay, we're on to something. So from there, my mom has a nonprofit, and she has a bunch of community centers, and we kind of just moved to go help my mom with her community centers. And one day an event planner came in and she decorated this place, and I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. How much does something like this cost? And she told me she got paid $4,000. And I was like, what? Light bulb, I can do
Right.
this. I can do this. So then I literally started applying graphics to event planning, and I made that a thing. Like, I just started making that a thing. And Dexte Denim, the event design company, kind of just grew from that. It was, at that time, it was called Denim K Brown. I was then 26 when I had my second son, Dex. And at that time, I'm like, yeah, so we have to make something happen, because 2 kids is really expensive, and I didn't think it was going to be that expensive for whatever young reason, but that was like a different type of expense. So I'm like, we have 2 kids, we have to make this work. So when I had my second son, I'm like, I can't go to a job because I have 2 kids now. We have to make this work. So I just started teaching myself some more, because I'm a self-taught graphic designer. I started teaching myself some more on YouTube. I started taking more jobs on Craigslist. I went back to Craigslist. And then I said, you know what? I think I'm more creative than this. After doing the parties and using my creativity for the parties, I'm like, I'm more creative than this. What else can I do? And I met a principal one day, so random. I did her party, and she said, you know what? I want something like this in my school. She was referring to a backdrop. When I went there, I said I could actually paint this. And she said, you can paint? And I'm like, yeah, I can paint. I did 1 mural for this lady, this principal. Her name is Miss Ward. Loved her. Amazing. I did 1 mural for Miss Ward. She then referred me to all of these schools, and I just started painting murals.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. But you know what I realized? I realized you can't do everything. You could be like, you can't just be a jack of all trades and master of none. So I'm like, dang, I have so many talents, but I have to zone in on something to actually for it to be lucrative. Because if you take a painting job on Monday, then a graphic design gig Tuesday, an event on Thursday, like, you'll burn out really fast. And it's just no way to actually like count your money or even be like responsible with your money, because it's just coming from so many different places. So I told myself, like, I don't know what it is I want to do. I just love everything, but I need to find a way to like know what my thing was. So I started pacing myself with 6 months at a time. And this sounds crazy, but this is real. And I only did murals for 6 months. Like, even if that meant I was going to be broke for a couple weeks because I didn't have a mural job, this is what you needed to do to know if this was something you liked. So I started doing murals. Yes. I started doing murals for 6 months. I was like, this is cool, but this is really, really heavy on the body, as well as you can only do it during like non-conventional school hours. But I have 2 kids. My kids can't just be in the hallway with me painting murals. So that didn't work for me. I started doing web design, which was cool, but I found out real fast it required way too much edits and back and forth. So I was like, this is not for me. I started just doing logos, which was cool too. I don't mind doing logos. I did tattooing. It's crazy. It's so opposite from life, right? I actually learned how to tattoo. I did love doing tattoos. That might be my retirement once I'm a millionaire plan.
Love that.
Be a tattoo artist. I did a bunch of different things creatively, and then I just landed on event planning because it just opened up a whole different world. Like, I was able to meet a bunch of different people. I was able to do celebrity events. I've done tons of celebrity events. I was able to meet like random strangers in Honolulu who wanted to order from me. So that to me was the most fulfilling. So I ended up with event planning graphics.
I love that. That is so cool.
Yep.
And I love how you mentioned on one spectrum, you know, by doing multiple things, it really takes your thought and your mind to different places. But on the other hand, it helped you really hone your craft.
Yes.
That is so cool. So can you share with us, you know, the story that you mentioned to me earlier in regards to your mother? So what did your mother say to you as you were building your business?
So throughout my life, my mom, like I mentioned to you earlier, was really creative. I used to just draw and write on everything. And my mom was always super supportive. I never got in trouble for drawing on the walls. Never. Now, it's crazy because full circle, when my son does it, it drives me crazy. But I personally was always allowed to draw and write on anything in the world that I wanted to. My mom never cared. I went to school with shirts that I drew on with markers. I used to put my friends in my clothes and everything. everybody was okay with it. So, but as I got older, I think my mom got fearful a little bit because I was like a young mom. I had 2 kids, and like, artsy, I don't know if you know any artsy creative people, but we're kind of like, it'll be okay. Just go with the wind. We're just like, it'll be fine. Like, how much is the bill? $100? Okay. Like, I'll figure it out. So I kind of was like that when I was a little bit younger. And my mom, she used to say, like, it's cool that you think you'll figure everything out, but you need to have a plan. So at first, when I was doing event planning graphics, and that's where I decided I was going to settle on, to say something like that to your mom when she can see you doing murals for public schools, and she can see you making websites for major companies. It's kind of like, yeah, no, that's cool that today this is what you're on, but this is not going to sustain your life. So at first, my mom kind of just was like, yeah, this is not a real plan, until one day we were doing, no lie, we were doing our taxes and stuff. And I was like showing her how much money I made. And I think I made like 150,000 that year. And she was like, wait, hold up. Like, let's everybody take a pause. How much did you make? And I'm like, I made like 150,000. And this is only on this platform. And my mom was like, what? That's how much you make from event stuff? Like the chip bags and iron on towels and stuff. I'm like, yeah. And she was like, you know what? I was wrong. Let's do this. Like, what do you need? I think my mom that day said, what can I do to help you, to help your business? Sorry. And she bought me a new computer. She bought me my first Cricut machine, a heat press. My mom was like, what is it that you need? I did not know that this was like this. What do we need to do to elevate this and take this off? And it's been history ever since.
I love that.
Now I teach my mom too, because she was my first helper. So now I teach my mom how to do all this stuff too, so she can help me.
I love that. That's so, she said, forget the 9 to 5 at this point. I love that. Wow, yeah. That's amazing. So for people who are listening and they're like, you know what, I want to be just like her. I want to get there. How did you go from idea to full creation of a business? Did you create a plan? How did you map out how you wanted to get there?
I didn't even know business plans were a thing. No. I'm sorry. I'm a little congested. I didn't know business plans were a thing. I had no plan, literally. I think that one of my biggest strengths, and has always been, is just like execution. Because like, I thoroughly have adapted the concept that you could either overthink about it and get nothing done, or you can just go for it and figure it out as you go. Like, you will make $0 overthinking and trying to make a plan and make it perfect. And that just won't work for me. Like, that won't work. I have 2 kids. I have to figure it out. We have to figure it out. That's always been my mindset. Like, we have to figure it out. So you don't have time to make things perfect. So I didn't have a business plan with anything. For a long time, I was operating my Dexte Denim with no LLC, with no tax ID. I wasn't paying. I was doing all of the under the books things, because in my mind, I'm like, the IRS is not looking for me. That's how I was operating. And honestly, I've never gotten caught or anything like that. But I kind of just had to shift my mentality when I said, listen, you have to think big, like longevity wise. Maybe you didn't get caught now, maybe nobody's looking for you now, but in the grand scheme of things, like business credit and like all of these different, like, things coming out, you won't be eligible because your business is not legit. So I kind of just, it's like a mental thing. So I didn't have a plan. I didn't know, like my mom, she tried to tell me things because she has successful businesses. So she tried to tell me things, but just young and just in your own mind, you didn't really listen. But I kind of just had to keep talking myself up. That's something I tell my friends all the time. Like, talk yourself up, like make it make sense to you. I am a very logical person more than an emotional person. So I know that for me, it's easier for me to talk myself up. But I do try to tell anybody that I meet, if I could leave you with anything, you have to learn how to talk yourself up and make it make sense to you. So if you want to start a business and you don't know how, go find out what is necessary to start this business, and then you start, period. If you don't start, then you just won't stop. Then you just won't have one. Is that the plan? I don't think anybody wants to just have an idea and not do it. Like, or if you don't start, somebody else will come out with your idea. When I saw Instacart come out, I was heartbroken. Because I'm like, I've been saying we should have did this and I didn't do it. And now somebody else has Instacart. See? So you gotta just start sometimes. Because I had that idea.
Wow. I always think about that, because I feel like, we get this window of time to do it, like you said, and then you look up and you're like, oh man, someone else did it.
Yeah. And why not? Just go ahead and do it. Literally, why not? I think people always say, well, I just want to make sure it's perfect first. And what is perfect? What exactly is perfect? Because we know that Amazon ships us bad things, like the wrong items all the time. So they're not perfect, but they're Amazon. So what exactly is perfect? Like, what is the perfect scenario you're looking for? I don't know. You got to just get up and do it. And also, if you are not the type of person to execute an idea, like I'm not an organized person. I am not an organized person. I laugh with my best friend because I always say I'm an inventor and she's a CEO. That's it. I'm honest with myself. So I know that I'm an inventor. I have all the ideas. I have all the execution. I am ready to let's hit the floor and run. She's a CEO. She does not. She's like, you know what? Maybe we should just double check. So therefore, she is my everything. I cannot exist without her because she is systematic. She's the one who's going to say, I know you want to hit the floor and running, but we need to make sure the bank account is correct. We need to make sure the taxes are in order. That did you file the trademark? I'm not the type of person to remember that, but she is. So if you're not the type of person to execute and hit the floor and run, maybe you're systematic like she is, and that's okay too. You just need to find your counterpart.
I love that, because you're also saying build your team, find people you trust, build your team.
Self-awareness, know yourself. If you can't do everything, it is okay. Go find the person that is capable of picking up where you lack. I am not a CEO. I'm telling you, I'm an inventor. I want to come up with the idea. I want to execute the idea. And I want to say, you run this. Let's go. I'm on to my next one. I know that.
I love that. Okay. So speaking of on to the next one, you have something else launching.
Yes.
Is it in April, correct?
Yes, in April. In April, it's going to be officially launched and ready to go in April 1st. And I'm big on deadlines. I am big, as crazy as it sounds, because I'm all over. I'm big on deadlines, and I give myself deadlines, unrealistic deadlines all the time. I work good under pressure. And April 1st, we are launching. I'm coming out with a card game called Are You Ready for the Baby? And literally, it's just a card game. It has 300 questions, scenarios, and conversational cards. And it's for people to discuss parenting and raising humans. Are you ready to raise this human with another person? Realistically, I would like it to be geared towards people, partners and couples who are expecting a child or before they plan a child. But I think it's a good game for everyone to play. I've been playing with all of my friends who currently have children with their partners, and it is hilarious to watch everybody be on two different pages. I just think it's so funny.
Wow. I think you're going to save a lot of relationships.
I hope so. My goal is to save a lot of moms from postpartum as much as I can, because I feel like postpartum comes from your reality not matching your expectations. But if you kind of knew what to expect ahead of time, when baby's first birthday come and dad is not singing happy birthday, or your mom is not there because she doesn't care about parties, but you kind of asked her that ahead of time, you are not standing there like sad because you're trying to figure out where your mom is or where dad is, because you now know neither one of those people actually care about birthdays.
Wow.
Sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but
it's so good.
It's so true.
Because usually you find out while you're on the journey and you're like, well, wait a minute. Well, weren't you supposed to be here? And weren't you supposed to do that? And didn't you say you were going to help me with that?
If you would have asked ahead of time, how important is it for you to show up for a first birthday party? And they both said, I have social anxiety. I don't really like to be around people. The day of the party, you're not walking around moping or feeling overwhelmed because you kind of already knew that they weren't interested in coming.
I love that. Okay, I will be one to get one when it officially.
I will give you one. I would love that.
Thank you. That's an amazing gift. That's even a great gift for others. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
And I also like how you're using your life experiences to build brands. It's really beautiful because you're a mom of 2 children. You creating this game, your love of the arts helped you create Dexte Denim, and your children, and of course their inspiration for that. And then even with your son, he's now a fashion designer, which is so cool.
Yes. Oh man, yes. As moms, you hear people say all the time, your children are watching you. And you say, okay, I know they're watching. My children are watching me. They are 100% watching everything I do. I had no idea. My 6-year-old, he's been designing since he's 5, and he actually forced his company onto me, because for a long time I'm like, okay, you want to put it on a shirt, okay, like he just wants to put it on a shirt. But one day, I promise you, he came to me. I gave both of my kids have a bunch of sketchbooks all over the house. He came to me with his book and he said, look, I'm ready to go. These are all my designs. And we were flipping through the pages and I was in awe. I could not believe that this 5-year-old had all of these sketches, and he drew out t-shirts, and he had like all of his designs, like this is going to be on a shirt, this is going to be on a bag, this is going to be on a sweater. And I was like, wow, so I can't really sleep on this anymore, because he's way more serious than I ever could have imagined a 5-year-old would be. And then we did a pop-up shop. So I'm like, you know what? Before I like take this leap and really apply a lot of pressure into this, let's see how he really handles it, because he's 5. We did a pop-up shop and this 5-year-old made like $1,800. I love it. We sold out of all the stuff we had.
Oh, that's so good.
And he stood there the entire 6 hours, which I didn't think was going to happen. He stood the entire 6 hours and he greeted everyone. He was like, yeah, hey, yeah, you can buy it. I mean, the only issue we had is he was like, they didn't have any money. We should just give them something. But it was really amazing. And then after that, he just went into hyperdrive. He's like, no, I have to get business cards. I have to get, because I had like tags. I had like little QR cute things, because he's 5. I'm like, let's get cute things. He's like, I don't want that cute stuff. I want the real stuff. And I'm like, wow, kids really are watching you. And his older brother, because Denim, he's not really creative, really. He's a gamer. He's not really into like arts like me and my younger son. But Denim was watching, and Denim was like, okay, you have to give them, he was telling him the right amount of change to give back. And then he was telling him, like, you have to put half that money back into your business so you can order better bags. And I'm like, wow. I'm thinking he's over here not paying us attention. And he's the mathematician.
You must be so proud.
I'm beyond proud. I think the other day I almost cried. Because we were watching Shark Tank. My oldest son loves Shark Tank. We were watching Shark Tank and he was playing his game. He came upstairs. He said, how much equity did he ask for? And I told him, he said, wow, he values his company at $3 million. We did the math and he was right. I started crying instantly. He literally was like, why are you crying? I couldn't believe that he picked up from Shark Tank. He picked up the math, he just picked up the information, and I started crying. I literally was bawling. Everybody was laughing, like, that's so cute. And I'm like, you guys don't understand. I didn't know that he understood what was going on. And he's 10. He just turned 10.
Just turned 10.
Just turned 10. And I could not believe it. I was hysterically bawling, like real tears.
I love it. Well, you guys are amazing. You've got, so your son has the Pretty Ugly brand with the purses, and I saw you even made them this really nice coat the other day that you made for both of your sons. That was so cute. And then you've also got the video where you're getting everything ready for Hello Gorgeous, and you're encouraging yourself. How you were saying you got to talk yourself up. You were really encouraging yourself, telling yourself, you know what, I got this. We're gonna do it. And how you conceptually put everything together. It's truly beautiful to watch and see all that you've done. Yes.
When I was building Hello Gorgeous is my all pink self museum. It's located in Baldwin, Long Island. When I was building Hello Gorgeous, and just to be clear, Hello Gorgeous is a product of everything I've ever learned, of all the creativity. Like, I have paintings in there from when I did murals. I have graphics everywhere. I have like props that I learned from college in my internships. Like, Hello Gorgeous is my best masterpiece. And as I was creating Hello Gorgeous, the concept itself is an all pink photography self museum. A lot of people told me that it wasn't going to work. A lot of people. My mom was the only person like, whatever you decide, it's going to work. She literally would. Oh, Angelique, she was awesome too. But a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, including, they told me it wasn't going to work because I love pink, as you can see. And they're like, Danielle, everybody doesn't have this pink obsession like you do. And I'm like, I think that they do. But so a lot of people told me it wasn't going to work. So it was kind of emotionally and mentally a little challenging to do, because I felt like I didn't know who I could talk to about it, because a lot of people just weren't being supportive like I wanted them to be or expected them to be, like they've always been in the past for everything else. So that was when I was making that video, that was my testimony, because a lot of people just didn't see the vision. And now Hello Gorgeous is it's beyond anything I could have imagined. We've only been open a little over a year, and I've done so much better than anything I've ever done before.
I love
I
that.
can't. I'm at a loss for words because I'm so grateful. I didn't expect that kind of success that fast.
I'm so happy for you. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
thank you.
Cool. Well, I know that we're close to our end. Is what advice would you give to the person who's watching, who's at home? They've got a dream and they're just like, I just don't know how to bring it to fruition.
Number one, self-awareness. Get aware with yourself. So if you know that you actually have a good idea and you just don't know how to bring it to life, find someone who can help you. It doesn't have to be a best friend. It doesn't have to be your partner. Find someone. There are so many creatives in the world who are unorganized and need a counterpart. There's so many systematic people who are very organized and just are looking for, something to do. Find help. Like, don't be afraid to like look for help in unconventional places. TikTok is just as informational as YouTube. Okay. So if you ever want to like find a way to start something, type on TikTok, how do I start a card game? That's how I found out how to start my card game. And you will see the testimonies of all these other card games that are super popular now. So if you don't know where to start, find someone, like get self-aware with yourself and say, why am I not able to start? Am I not able to start because I am emotionally all over the place? Because that's just a simple conversation you have with yourself. Am I not able to start because I don't have money? Because then you can Google ways to fund a business with no money. Am I not able to start because I simply just don't feel like I'm confident enough, or I don't know how to do this part of it? Go find somebody to help you to do it. But don't not do anything. Like, never not do anything. You have to do something. Like, if you want to do something, you have an idea, you have to do something. You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. No one else is going to figure it out for you. You have to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, my joke that I make with people when they say, well, I'm going to do it one day, I'll say, oh, wow, you're just so rich. You can just throw your idea to the back burner. You must have so much money. And they'll say, no, I don't have money. And I'm like, well, you must have money that one day you'll figure it out. You have so much time to just figure it out one day. And don't let anybody else tell you what to do. Like, don't let other people's opinions stop you. Like, if you know it's a good idea and you want to do it, what's the worst that can happen? And I know that sounds cliche. but that's the truth. Don't let other people's opinions stop you. Like, just keep going. That does sound so cliche, doesn't it?
No, but it is perfect because it is just the situation that you described with Hello Gorgeous. You said,
yes,
people around you who normally supported you, when you told them the idea, they were a little leery about it, but you kept going.
I did. Don't let anyone's opinion deter you from something you know is a good idea. And I mean, a good idea is, that's like broad, but something is a good idea. And just because you have an idea too, on a flip side, doesn't make it a good idea. Like, test the market. Like, you'll know if it's a good idea because you know for sure it is either solving a problem, it is something that people will frivolously spend their money on, or something that is so enticing that there's a market of people who will obsess over it and have to have it or have to go to it. That's why I knew Hello Gorgeous was a good idea. I'm like, I know that there are the people who love the color pink have the personality types to just have to go for it. And I don't know if Angela told you, but I actually had a purple one that I just closed. And that's a different type of testimony. But I opened an all purple selfie spot directly next to Hello Gorgeous, right? Because I honestly was like, well, the truth is I acquired that spot because I wanted to make a bigger pink selfie spot. But after doing all the construction, the guy then tells me I couldn't connect the venues. After I spent all this money, he told me I couldn't connect the venues. So I was like, okay, so I only have two options here: give it up or pivot. So I asked everybody, I tested the market, I Googled, and they told me purple was the second best liked color other than pink. So I opened this all purple selfie spot and it did good. Like, it paid its own bills, it sustained itself, but it didn't do what it didn't do the numbers Hello Gorgeous did. And what I learned is that you have to know the personalities of people. Like, it was a good idea, but it wasn't a phenomenal idea. It wasn't brilliant. So you have to know the personalities of people. The personality of the person who loves the color purple is not obsessive. They're not obsessed enough to jump out of bed and say, I'm going to take that 3-hour drive to go to that purple spot. They're kind of calm and chill. And that was a learning lesson for me.
That's great. See, even that one is a great one. Knowing your target market, your audience, what do they want?
What do they do? Where do they sleep? Well, yeah. Where do they sleep? What do they dress like? What do they like to eat? What do they like to do? Because the person who loves the color purple, they like to do things, but they like to go to restaurants. They like to read books. They like to buy purple things, but they don't care to dress in all purple. They don't care to paint their house all purple. So had I I know now, but had I known at that time, I would have said, you know what? I probably shouldn't do purple because I don't know if that's something people have to do. Pink, all the girls love pink. The celebrities love pink. They go to Hello Gorgeous all the time. Tomorrow I have 4 photo shoots lined up with all of these, like 2 celebrities and a celebrity hairstylist and a nail tech. And when I hear stuff like nail techs, I'm like, what is it that you want to do in there? But they just want to do nails in the pink.
Wow.
Yeah. So you kind of just, test the market, make sure it's a great idea, and just keep going. That sounds cliche so bad.
No, it's so good.
Keep going. Just keep going. Don't stop. Like, keep going. Like, don't be your own worst enemy. Like, don't talk yourself out of a good idea because somebody else is going to take it, like Instacart.
See, you did phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing information about all of your businesses.
I talk a lot.
No, you did great. We will make sure that we share all this information with people. We'll give them the links to your businesses. And when your card game comes out, we'll promote that one too. We'll send it.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
So if anyone was inspired by Danielle, just like I have been today, perhaps you want to start your business. Perhaps you want to go after your dream, but you're thinking, oh my goodness, I want to get my finances in order. So if you do, we can set you up so that you can speak with a financial professional for free. So just click the link down below, go to dfree.com/gethelp, fill out the form, and you can sign up to speak with a financial professional from Prudential. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Have a great day.